I said they got they had to go kill a bunch of E-mans. But yeah. So they defeat all the rats, and Hung and Dorsey, they arrive at the quarantine, and a rat goes to attach
The
Rachel.
E-Man. We can't call him rats anymore. It must be referred to as E-Man. I refuse to hear anything other than that.
Maybe. But anyhow,
The E-Man went to Rachel.
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Herbal Synergies, the shop. I'm your host, Irby, and with me, my very lovely co-host, Sinji,
Wait, why do I gotta be lovely?
because you're a lovely individual.
Lovely is such a feminine description.
No, I use it for everything.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. What's up,
hmm
guys?
You know, the usual. Trying to survive on
How's
95.
how's that working out?
I'm doing this podcast, ain't I?
You right. We are.
Yeah, I'm alive now. Yeah. So I guess let's get on into it, good sir. You got a flavor this week?
I do have a flavor this week. It was
Oh, that's a change.
what? I have a flavor every week, sir. It's just that sometimes I
You,
don't know what
you
it
don't have
is
a
until the
flavor.
moment.
Last week you had no flavor.
Hell, last week was rough, man. I had
Past
one
month
last
was
week. I just
rough.
forgot it when we started.
Uh-huh.
It was the
Yeah.
countdown. The countdown threw me off.
No, you threw yourself off.
My flavor this week is coming straight out of Re Zero.
I think I know what the flavor you gonna pick.
Oh yeah, all right. We'll see. It was the moment Subaru got kicked out of the burning mansion and went all the way back in and opened every door while the mansion was burning down just to save Beatrice,
That's not the
Mexico,
moment I would have picked. I would have picked
Betty.
something different.
Hey man, that was a deep moment.
You're a deep moment.
I be like that.
Yeah.
You have a flavor, sir?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with my boy Rack. How he was so touched that Bam cared about him that he started crying. So I was like, oh, my man Rack, he got Mr. Sensitive side. I was like, yeah, my boy. I'm glad you get reunited with your black turtle. That was great. Brought a tear to my eye.
Fucking
Very
OP turtle.
touching. Yeah, Bam is. Bam be doing the most.
He don't be trying to do it. It just be happening.
He's like, oh, what's this? Let me just go ahead and just mess this
Absorb
up
it.
over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or this attack. I'm like, oh, I had no idea I could do this, but now I know I could do this. So let me just do some more stuff.
Yeah. You want to teach me a move? Just hit me with it.
Yeah. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah. I don't know. He's just too OP. just, just makes me cry.
But the thing is, he's not though. Like Bam's OP, but he's still like not on the level of like
Luffy?
Jihad and the
Huh?
10 Great
Okay.
Families. What the fuck, Luffy? What the hell are you talking about?
My bad. I thought you were talking about OP.
No, OP isn't overpowered. Not One Piece, bro. Two different OPs.
Yeah, Luffy overpowered.
Hey man, Luffy just utilizes his fruit correctly.
Shoot, does he?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Mm.
Anyways, what are we talking about first? We got Jujutsu Kaisen. We got My Senpai is Annoying. We have Re fucking Zero and Tower of God. Do we have more? Did you read Chojin?
I did read Chojin.
Okay, so I guess we have Chojin as well, which I kind of remember what Chojin is about, but
It definitely had a little bit more information than what you led me on to believe.
Tokyo still doesn't really know what he wants to do, but Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, he he uh he out there, baby. Uh, but yeah, you go ahead and spark that thing on up on Chojin. I'll interject.
I said I don't really remember Chojin.
Oh,
You want me to
okay.
lead the conversation on Chojin? You know what I remember about Chojin, Irby? I read it.
Nothing.
That's what I remember about Chojin. I read
Okay,
it and
I'll start
no,
it.
no. Actually, I do remember something. Hold on. Okay, okay. All right. I got this. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. Something happens in the beginning where um Ellie was gonna go shopping with the chick from the community that the Chojins, all the good Chojins are at, keepers or seekers. What are they called?
Yeah, the keepers,
The
Momo
keepers.
Ma.
But then something came up and she had to take care of something. So Tokyo ended up going shopping with Ellie. And once they went shopping, Ellie was having a blast and they ran into a box Chojin. They kept packaging everyone.
Yeah,
And then Tokyo's like, I got this. And then immediately got packaged.
yeah.
And once you're
He's
packaged, you can't do nothing apparently.
yeah, he was trying to play a hero for Momo Ma because he kind of liked her, but didn't really know how to go about it. But I thought it was the interesting part was the I forget the snake lady, but they're interrogating her. I think it's Nari Sumiji.
Ooh, and his power is to
Um,
anything he can think of, he makes it visually
well,
like
that was her name. And then the other lady is Seko Kiru. She's a lie detector. When she asks questions, she gets like yes or no answer, X's or O's. So you have to be kind of specific, but you can kind of broaden it, which I thought was cool. But the other dude you're talking about,
that man that came in to
Ichiro
finish up. Yeah,
Soto, yeah, he is on a different level. Yeah, and I was like, man, that guy's kind of rough.
you really got to be mentally like prepared. You
Yeah,
need some mental toughness to handle that.
sure do. Because
Like
I'm
as long
like,
as he can
man,
see it and imagine it, it can you can visualize it, and even though you don't feel it, it's gonna fuck up your head. That's crazy.
yeah, I would cry a little bit on the inside and be like, oh no, I can't do it.
I think she cried a lot on the inside.
Yeah, pretty bad. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. And then Ely, she uses her newfound power to stop the box children. She just concentrated. I think it was nice. She had a a moment where she's like, "Oh, if I concentrate real hard, I can do this." So she did it, and she got it. So I was like, "Yeah, there you go, my girl. You go ahead. You do it. You
Leaving my
showing up."
boy Tokyo in the dust.
Yeah,
Man, don't even know how to do a partial transformation. Noob.
he does it. It's terrible. So I just laugh.
Well, he had a lot of determination just from like to just transform back. Then like all that went bye bye.
Yeah, he he's not as polished as Ellie. He also hasn't been training as much as she has either. So
Yeah.
I'm just like, look at that guy. But anyhow, so not much of that. She stops him. I did think it was a nice tidbit that they get coupons for some at the store, and she decides to treat her and Tokyo out for dinner instead of getting a nice little rice cooker she likes.
And he
So
was
yeah,
like, "You could have got the rice cooker." It's like, "Yeah, but if it wasn't for you, I would have known how to handle the box man."
yeah,
Even though you completely got caught.
he did like an idiot. But anyhow,
Mm-hmm.
so let's we want to get into some Jujutsu Kaisen.
We can get into some Jujutsu Kaisen. Man, they come
Not
out
much there.
weekly, so they're kind of short.
Yeah, I don't mind it being too short.
I don't mind it either, but like Jujutsu Kaisen is like one of those ones where like I wouldn't mind more substance.
Yeah, they kind of always leave you with a little bit where you're like, oh, I gotta wait till the next one. You're like,
Yeah,
yeah,
like shit just got serious. Like I thought it was gonna get serious this chapter, and like nah, it just got serious.
yeah. So basically, starts off. Yuto starts fighting a woman, and she does like this mysterious power change, and like he's trying to figure out is it something with like her curse technique or like space or like a lens or something.
I still kind of don't get it. Like she can move the surface of the wind.
Uh, I think it's the air is her canvas. Like she can do anything in the air that she wants to do.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I
I
wonder
did
what the
think it. Would-
drawback for that is.
I don't know. It has yet to be seen.
Hmm.
Yeah, the sky is her surface, so she can anything with the air. Pretty much, she can do her own.
I'm betting that like once she's on the ground, she's completely useless.
Probably something like that.
Yeah.
That's kind of like how what was it, Garth's spirits or whatever. Um,
Mm-hmm.
his earth spirits. As long as he's touching earth, he can't be harmed or something. So
And while he's in
it's
the
fine.
air, like, well, he's more vulnerable. Well, he can't defend himself with earth spirits.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So that was good to know. And then he kind of talks to her about that she mind's getting killed, and she figures out he's from like a specific type of clan, and she's like, I don't mind because the culling game is like the first step to a second life. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, and then a man attacks with a granite blast. Yuto goes to fight him. Great chapter. Want some more? So,
We shall get it eventually.
eventually, so I guess we can get into Tower God or
My senpai is annoying.
yeah. I feel like there was a couple filler episodes. I guess we could go with Senpai.
Sir, a show like this, they're all filler. It's always the same concept. Christmas, New Year's, Golden Week, holiday. It's just moments for them to have moments alone. There's always a beach episode.
Yeah,
All these slices of life are the same.
yeah.
The only thing that could make this better if they made my man Kazuma and Sakurai the main characters instead of fucking Igarashi and Takeda.
I don't know. I kind of like Igarashi's dynamic. She's hilariously funny. So
All I'm saying is, and I didn't remember any of them until I saw them, but I've seen about 5 or 6 different reels about this show unknowingly, and they were all of Kazama and Sakurai.
yeah, it was pretty funny. Yeah, hit the little episode. We'll get into it. All right,
Are
so
you talking about the dolphin one?
yeah, that was that was hilarious. I was like, man, it does look just like him. But anyhow, so it starts off with Natsumi. Um, she's running a race. She's about to make it interesting. It looks like she might win, and then some kid trips her because he doesn't want to lose to a girl. And so they all start having dinner together, and Natsumi, Yuto, and Sakura is at the dinner, and they have some flashbacks to when they met. And let's see. So Igarashi got lost, and she starts following Natsumi because they have on the same uniform. And turns out Natsumi leads her to an arcade because she plans on ditching. She's like, "I never said I was going to school. Bye."
Fair.
So yeah. So so then you flash back to the present, and Natsumi is jogging, and she sees Yuto, and she starts talking to him. It's like, "Oh, you like running this day?" He's like, "No, I don't." But everyone's partner up, and it's like, "I'm partner up with a girl," so he's like, "I don't want to lose to a girl." That's implied, but he didn't specifically say that. He's like, "I like basketball." And she's like, "Why don't you join the club that you want to join?" And so that
I think it was
happens.
more so. So I think what I got from it was that they're partnered up, as in like they have to keep each other's scores, and he just doesn't want to look bad in front of a girl compared to a girl, something like that. I don't think it
Uh,
was more so losing to one as much as not looking bad in front of one.
yeah.
I could be wrong though.
I don't know. It it's it could be that. Not specifically said, but anyhow. So, and let's see. So then we flash back to middle school where I had to sign up for the clubs, and Igawashi unknowingly suggests Natsumi to go back to the sport that she loves, which she loves track. She's like, "You ought to do track. You're a fast runner, obviously." And then he flashed back to flash forward to the present time, and Igawashi and Takeda are talking about the pink flower leaves, and she's like, "Oh, green is such a dull color. Pink is much better, you know." And then Takeda's like, "Oh, I don't know. I kind of like the green. It's a pretty color." And she thinks he's talking about her hair, but he's not. Which was pretty gold. So I was like, man, that's funny. So then he's like, yeah. And also says your hair smells so nice. And she starts calling him a creeper for smelling her hair, but it's like we're in close proximity, so I smell your hair. So let's see. So then the gathering, the cherry blossom happens, and they flash back to middle school, and the kids make fun of her drawing, and Natsumi uh, hits the one kid and gets the sketchbook back. And it turns out the kids were just trying to rib her a little bit, but then they were like, "Oh, we didn't know you actually really like drawing," and and this, that, and the other, and they apologized for being jerks later on. And they're like, "Yeah, we're going to join the baseball team, but we both suck at baseball." So just like, but we really enjoy it. So that was a nice little moment. Made me realize how messed up middle schoolers were. You know.
Should have teased in
Yeah.
the first place, little pricks.
Yeah, middle schoolers would do that. I've seen that in my day. I'm like, man, why y'all bothering that boy? He just won't be left alone to draw his little stuff.
Hey girl, she's a girl, Irby. Come on.
I'm talking about my middle school.
I know, I know. Anyways, next. Oh, well, finish the episode.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And Takeda wants Futaba to draw for him again because he liked the drawing. I don't think he liked the drawing. I think he just liked it more so because she drew it for him. And that happens. That's the way the cookie crumbles. So so then everyone's holidays, vacation time. Igarashi, she's gonna clean the whole time. And Takeda's gonna do what he's always gonna do. My man, Sakurai and Kazuma, they're going to the aquarium. So uh, after Iguashi, she finished cleaning up. She turns on the TV and like this murder mystery thing comes on, and the lady that was on there pretty much was doing everything that she just finished doing, so it freaked her out. So she was going to call up Takeda and just talk to him, and he's like, "Oh, I just wanted to hear your voice." So she did it to calm down. And turns out Takeda's like, I sent something wrong. And she's like, oh, nope, I'm fine. And she goes, and he ends up coming over and it scares her because she heard the knock at the door and thought it was the murderer that she saw on the TV show. So then we flash back to Kazuma and Sakurai, and there's a moment where they're getting tickets to the aquarium, and the lady's like, "Oh, you want to get the couples tickets?" And he's like, "Oh, see, what the problem is?" He's like, "Yeah, we'll take the couple's
And she
price for the
latches onto his
tickets."
arm.
Yeah, that little harlot. Nah, she's not a harlot, but I did like how she just was like, "Oh, let me take the lead. This is what we do." And I feel like so much more. If they just would express what they're thinking and feeling with that group pairing, then it probably going better than what it is. You definitely have something definitive.
I mean, she hasn't said it, but that next episode, she's visibly expressing some emotions.
Yeah, she was a little upset. So
My girl said, "I got a pair too, you know."
yeah. So then the dolphin. So let's see, Takeda. She was like, "Oh, I can stay with you longer if you want or something for the day." And she's like, "Yes, please." Da, da, da. So they just hang out all day, and the dolphin show starts. And Sato, the dolphin, which is actually funny because that's Kazuma's other name. They look just the same, and the eyes were the same eyes. I was like, "Oh, that's hilarious." And
Doing my man dirty.
yeah, so then Igarashi and Takeda, they walk by, they go for a little walk, they walk by a claw machine, which I thought this was an interesting part too, because he's never played a claw machine, but he's like, I'm gonna get her that daggone bear she wants so badly. And so he spends a bunch of money and he finally gets it. And so
I thought it was great. It was like he spent an hour trying to get that thing, and then some people with like four of them just casually walk by. This place is easy.
yeah, it's just so easy. Yeah, I thought it was hilariously nice touch too, because I was like, dang, it was. So then we flash back to Kazuma. He's like, oh, I'll be back. I gotta go grab something. And earlier in the episode, Sakurai was being looked at by two gentlemen, and those gentlemen come back to, hey, you gotta drink some tea with us. And then my man Kazuma comes back, and he's like, oh, she's with me. You guys best leave her alone. And then he gives a line from a shonen video game, and immediately
But
proceeds
then
to
he
get
gets so
embarrassed.
embarrassed and just hides his face. Like, I did not just say that.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, hey, look, UFO," and then they're like, "Huh?" And then he just grabs her and they run. So that's pretty good. Made me laugh. And this episode right here, boy, ooh,
Fan service.
it was. So so my man, they go to the beach, and Sakurai set up my girl, and they're like, "Oh, supposed to been Yuto and Sakurai and Natsumi," and it turns out it's everyone that's ever you know been in the show that's in their little group. And so then they change at the beach and she's like, oh, you're quite an eyeful, says that to the woman. And so Igarashi gets mad because he calls her cute instead. And Kazuma's staring at Natsumi and Sakurai's like, hey, I have a pair of those too, you
Yo,
know?
nah, she breaks his neck.
Yeah.
Say, hey, I got those too, you know?
Yeah. So I was like, man.
I was like, okay.
So
Why
yeah,
can't
she
the woman I
was
talk to be that forward?
nah, because they ain't about that life, my good sir.
It be like that.
Yeah, so let's see here. And so they start playing, do beach stuff, and they're playing beach volleyball, and Kazuma gets hit with a ball in the face because he's still staring at Natsumi. And Takeda and Futaba are in the water, and he keeps staring, and she tells him to stop, and he's like, oh, there's not much to look at anyway. And she's like, oh, all men are the same. They're just like big boobs. And he says, of course. And then he proceeds to then list all the qualities that he likes about her. And then he's like, at the end of the day, that's what matters the most. It's your qualities. I'm like, oh, okay. My guy's a softie. So then we find out Futaba can't swim, so Takeda's going to be teaching her. And this was another funny part that made me think about Uramichi because they did a watermelon smashing thing. I guess that must be a regional thing or something, behavior type deal.
Hmm.
That makes sense because I've never seen people like, hey, let's just go smash a watermelon and then we eat the pieces. I don't know. So anyhow, they do that and they go back and eat, and they all give Yuto their tempura, and Natsumi's kind of she noticed that Yuto's always looking at her and staring, so it's like, oh,
I'm gonna tease him.
yeah. So that happens. Uh, so then they get to talking, and I think it was funny how they start talking about the fish, and Takeda's like, oh, it's not as good as Igorashi's. And Natsumi's like, oh, you had her fish, and he's like, yeah, I had a fish and this, and then Igarashi tries to stop him from talking. So that was another cute little thing. And then they set off some fireworks, and my man Yuto's having school troubles, and Natsumi gives him advice. And then they have to walk back into pitch black, and Igarashi's all scared. And Takeda offers to hold her hand, and she turns it down because she's too proud.
And then
And
my man
my man,
Kazuma just fainting from the bug.
yeah, that was funny. So then they did late night pillow chats for sleepovers, and then the next day, Takeda and Sakurai they talk, and I find it funny they both embarrass uh, Kazuma and Igarashi. What did he exactly did he say? He said something.
Well,
The best
Takeda
quality.
said that like, oh, you guys seem like you're getting close, and then Sakurai retorted with, "Oh, you and Igarashi look like you're getting close too." And then he's like, "Of course, she's my kuhai."
Yeah, her right hand man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's what it was. I was like, it's something. So pretty much that's it. So then they go for drinks, and Igarashi and Takeda are falling asleep together on the beach, which I thought was cute. And then Igarashi asks him to hang out again over the summer. He's like, the summer. He's like, I can hang out with you anytime.
That's
So
not what I mean.
yeah, so that's it for
Fuck.
the episode. Yeah. So I was like, oh, okay. And then they both end up getting tans. So that was funny. Yeah.
Yep.
So good
Because her
stuff.
granddad usually holds an umbrella over her.
Yeah. Good stuff. So you want to get into Tower of God, or I
Whichever
figure you
one,
want to do ReZero last because
whichever one you want to do, big dog. I'm ready for either or. I'm here to do this.
are you here? Are
To
you
do
there?
this.
Are you everywhere?
No, I'm here. I can't be
Dang.
everywhere because then I couldn't be here.
You could if you was fast enough.
I ain't fast enough.
Have you tried to be fast enough?
I haven't tried to be fast enough.
Mm, you better get some training in.
I'm here.
You better hit a gear 10.
I can't do it.
Dang.
My body ain't made out of rubber.
Mm, dang.
Be cool
Oh,
though.
yeah. Mm,
It's
maybe.
not the best fruit to have, but I kind of already know how to use it because between you and me,
Mm,
Irby, I watch One Piece.
I watch it sometimes too.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
every once in a
crazy.
while. I put it on because I just need background noise.
Nah, I watch it. Watch it.
But anyhow, so this week's installment, Tower of God, season 2, episodes 270 to 277. So
270 to 277.
yeah, my man, Bam here, he's getting there. So and Dorsey tries to take Bam away, and Bam's like, "What? Wait!" And then Dorsey's like, "When are you going to stop worrying about the fake you? You're going to get us all killed." So my man Hung Sung has a bomb planted to make the seed explode. And Hong Sung tells Bam that the big breeders are henchmen of young Jihad to prevent anyone who comes to this place from finding him. So Kun's group is finding the octopus. Kun is coming up with a plan, and he tells them to go to the smokestack and tells Boro that the way to catch an octopus is to bait put bait in a jar. And the plan's in motion, and the big breeder increases the octopus power output, and it's moving too far and too fast to stop. But my man Sachi has some thorns, and he saves the day. And the whole gauge went away with that quest. So, and then a gate appears, and the big breeder appears. Hold on a sec.
Do, 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 do. Yeah, man, guys. Tower of God,
So what?
really good read. I was just telling our fellows here that Tower of God is a really good read.
Yeah. So the breeder's name is Chung, and he's presenting the grand quest, and he makes the jesters sing a song. And Dorsey asks Hung Sung if they can lead the people because they're going to slow him down. He says no. Says he doesn't want to abandon his comrades. I was like, okay, Naruto, there you go, baby. And then the big breeder vibrates on the sense, so they hatch a plan to leave and go defeat the big breeder. And yeah, there's some guy, he has a little shiny fang. I was like, oh, this guy's ominous. So Kun's group is presented with the grand quest. Before the quest starts, Kun asks the whereabouts of the data for the young Jihad. Chung's like, oh, I don't know. But Kun's like, oh, that reaction you just gave, I'm not too sure about that. So that the face, this mother long-tailed tit, it's a little bird thing. And me and the other minstrels are like, that's a D-level animal. Like, what's going on? What are you doing, big breeder? They're thinking this. They're not saying it out loud because they don't want to get erased. So Kun has a suspicious feeling about the situation. Bam's group, Bam's group is
I loved Khan in this fight because this man was overthinking the fuck out of this little chicken.
I mean, it makes sense though, because it's like you just face this terrifying octopus, and there's supposed to be an escalating level of trouble or difficulty, right?
And he's just like,
So
what the fuck?
yeah, so you're summoning this little bird chirping thing that you look like you could just fry it up and eat it, and it's like, doesn't make any sense. So I completely understand what he is hesitant about. So so Bam's group is punching a hole in the wall in the spear, and they're trying to get to the bottom quickly. Kun's group wants to attack, but Kun holds off due to the feeling of unease. And Bam reaches the exit and opens the door, and they escape. And it's worth noting too. The big breeder's like, oh, if I had known Kun was gonna, he's one of those people that overthink the simplest things too much, but with the big stuff, he makes it simple, kind of inversely, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, I would have just did it this way and just summoned the biggest, baddest thing and have him defeat it. So
Would have made more progress.
yeah, would have.
Would have killed Bam.
Yeah, Bam would have been done for.
Although I think he would have survived somehow.
Yeah, Bam would have did something. My man Bam, he's a trooper, baby. Trooper, baby.
Nah, he's
Dude,
just
trooper
OP.
time. Yeah. Plus, he's one of the main villain, not villains. One of the main
Whoa!
Yeah,
They call Bam a villain?
he is. He's
I mean, I
evil.
guess technically speaking, he's Jihad's enemy, but
He getting my girl Rachel down. You know,
listen, man.
like, taking away from my Rachel.
All I'm saying is, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah, no, I know. But yeah, I almost gave Rachel love this week, but I was like, yeah,
Well, yeah, Rachel can be smart.
yeah. She almost got some. But now, so Battis has a flashback of a truly beautiful song he wrote or he had written for him. I can't remember. I think he wrote it. Chung decides to awaken the giant to stop Bam. So all that stuff was just a lie about stopping stuff. So and Bam and Hung Sung team up for attack to defeat it. And Rack is still trying to attack and Kun holds him. And then the loud bang from Bam's attack is heard. And Rack's like, oh, I'm going to attack the chick again. But Bam shows up, flash to the group of people making their way to the exit from the giant apple fruit, or devil fruit, as you may call it, because it's a bad thing. And that strange man with the tooth appears, and he says he selects it and raises nobles who inherits the king's blood and sorts out noble talents and their prey. And he is someone's sworn enemy. I'm like, okay, you're a sworn enemy, baby. I see you. And then he proceeds to kill the people Orochimaru style. Just snakes everywhere and just killing everything. And Bam is relieved to see Mr. Rack. And Rack is crying. He's like, I'm not emotional.
Not at all.
Yeah. He says, a little turtle like you worrying about me. So Hung Sung
I
asks
still don't
Bam
know
to.
how he got in there.
Well, there's more than one way to get in there. So I just feel like
I thought you could only go through the secret passage.
well, there's more than one way. I'll just
Well,
say
I
that.
mean, yeah,
Yeah,
there has to be.
yeah,
Rack wasn't even on the train when he disappeared.
yeah. Well, he was on that floor where the train was, I guess. So, um, yeah, it all depends. So, so that happens, and Hunsung asks Bam to go through the door behind the big breeder that's there to get to the real big breeder. And the big breeder releases the monster from the egg. And big breeder called Baddis a defective piece of equipment because he didn't play his role. Baddis, he said after he wrote the song, criticized him, he became a real human being because it gave him feelings and emotions, and he was staying for himself. And Bam makes an escape attempt, and Big Breeder blocks his escape attempt with the Black Shinsu Spear. Because Bam was like, let me use this attack. And he's like, how dare you use that knockoff? So, so then that happens. The champion's about to die. Kun saves it. Hung Sun tells him he likes working people that think and are quick to access the situation because Kun knew that the champion wasn't supposed to die. So he kind of figured stuff out. And Battis has Data erasing bullets, and he's trying to shoot the big breeder. And Bam's like, he tells the Dorsey, use the bullets to defeat the breeder. And she puts one through his skull, but he doesn't die. And he ends up stabbing Bam.
Damn.
Yeah. And the big breeder was like, oh, you thought it was going to defeat me? Well, it only works on regular data. So I'm like, oh, so my man is a line manipulator. I see. So so then he just was tormenting him, and Chung grabs Chief Rose, who was Bata's wife, and asks her, does he want him to kill her? And she says yes. So Bata goes to shoot him, and then Chung moves her in front of him, and he shoots her, and she dies. Well, she kind of has a painful, slow death. And Rachel wakes up and tries to get answers from Chung. Took the helmet off and says he's focused on a video game, and he looks to be old and overweight. And Rachel doesn't want to give the device back. Tells him he shouldn't play video games too much. Sounds like some people I know.
Yeah,
Uh,
me and you, motherfucker.
nah, but yeah,
We're probably
so
playing Yu-Gi-Oh after this.
I'm playing it right now.
Whoa.
So so Bam's wounds almost healed. Battis is talking to Rose. He tells her of the love ballad. She dies. Hung Sun has to tell them about the secret of the floor. Tells them there's another way to clear the stage other than beating the grand quest. Hung Sun questions the whole concept of the floor. this is the flashback, and he starts saying about stuff, and so kind of back in the present now, he gets the real quest by making the gauge go all the way black. And he telling that the minstrels were just a ruse to keep an eye on them, and the fake quest is to prevent them from finding the true path. And he completed the real quest, and then they came for him. He escaped. He found the big breeder's body is probably in another data world, and Rachel is on the hidden floor. Jihad and select few are on this floor. And this is when I was always wondering. I was like, why haven't they run to any of the other rankers and 10 family members or anything? I was like, this is weird. Like, shouldn't they be on this floor if there's all data? So
Correct.
so I was like, okay, this doesn't make too much sense. So but anyhow, they tell it how it is. Yeah. Oh, he tells Rachel how to get there, and it's like to make a you have to make clone yourself to get to the hidden floor, and he explains his role that he does, and he keeps those that's not worthy from reaching the hidden floor. A mysterious power brought her to Chang, he says, and Rachel wants to create a clone and cross over. Which I was like, oh, okay. She's just gonna make a clone. She's a big breeder now. So Rachel wants to meet with some of the people on the train. He said that's not possible. Says bad things can happen, and she's like, "So what is a game?" Which is not really a game. She just wants to find the people she was with and leave. Her plan is to get to her companions where she is, bring her to the hidden floor. And she's like, "I don't want to meet Jihad by myself. I'm not ready for this." And Rachel puts on the helmet, and the stingray stops Chung from getting to her. And she creates the avatar and the username, goes in there. And Hung Sung tells him of one capable to go to the other world. He's difficult to meet. He's one of the great family leaders, which we'll know later. Bam checks his gaze and it's all black, like Sinji's soul. So Bam activates the quest. They go to fight the summon. It's a giant bunch of giant rats,
I'm
kind of big old.
surprised you're still reading like 7 chapters because these chapters are getting long.
Yeah, they are. I said they had to go kill a bunch of E-mans. But yeah. So they defeat all the rats and Hung and Dorsey. They arrive at the quarantine, and a rat goes to attach
The
Rachel.
E-Man. We can't call them rats anymore. It must be referred to as E-Man. I refuse to hear anything other than that.
Maybe, but anyhow,
The E-Man went to Rachel.
yeah, and Bam gave chase, and Rachel attacks and kills it, and she reveals herself to Bam, and she calls herself Icarus,
Icarus.
which I was thinking to myself, ain't that the person that flew and got too close to the sun and burnt himself up? So I feel like Rachel
A
setting
little
herself up
foreshadowing.
for, yeah. I was like, Rachel setting herself up for some type of failure. So,
I mean, Rachel's always failing, so it would not be far fetched.
yeah. Yeah. So she's like, I don't want to tell him I'm Rachel. It's like, I just want to keep the advantage of that I have right now. So she's like, "Oh, I'm not a shady person at all." And Bam's like, "Oh, this is super shady." So the snake charmer is Dorsey's enemy, and it doesn't actually want to harm Dorsey. He just wants to go with her on a journey. And he's like, "I killed all the quarantine people because they would just slowed you down." And so Hun Sun, he's he's kind of mad. He's like, "I want to take him with you." And Snake Charmer was like, "Oh, you only wanted to take them because they fit into your plan of escaping perfectly and such, you know? Like he wasn't doing it for him, he was doing it for himself." So then he goes inside the amulet and they leave. And then they talk about what happened in the quarantine area. And Hung Sun goes to retrieve Bodice and tells him that he wasn't actually trying to save the people to save him. He's like, I just was doing it for my own selfish reasons. And they go to meet, they flash to Hung Sun's group. Again, they all reconnoiter. And they're going to meet Khan Idahan. And Khan's like, oh, who are you going to meet? So he's kind of freaking out about him.
Ghostbusters.
So, yeah, that was it for Tower God. Things are getting spicy.
I love me some Tower God, man. I'm still reading weekly. Eventually, Irby's gonna catch up to me, but don't know when that'll be.
Eventually, eventually, I'll catch up.
So
I
we
don't
ready for
know.
some re motherfucking zero?
Are you ready to rumble?
Uh, no, I'm ready to talk though.
Yeah, I'm ready to rumble.
Okay,
I'm ready to rumble.
I'll see
Me
you when you're done.
zero. You won't.
Oh, all right, all right. First episode of this week: happiness reflected on the water's surface. So Garth is fighting Elsa, and she was about to swing at my man's face, but he stopped the sword with his teeth, and he slammed her face in the wall and just dragged her face across the wall. Oh man, like damn, brutal. Garth, still
But
lady,
yes, I was like, get it, King.
and Subaru finally finds Betty. And he's gonna drag her out, but Betty doesn't think she has a life of her own, and then um, and then like Roswell said there was two of those books. So I was kind of confused because Betty kind of said that her book never really worked, and it was just like, but there's two of those books. So do you just not have the right one, or I don't
I don't
know.
know.
I don't know what's going on in that book. And then Betty had a little glimmer of hope in her, and asked Subaru if he's the one, and Subaru was like, "Of course not," and she just kicked him out the room. And I was just like, Subaru, all you had to do from the first time you went to the mansion is say you're that guy, and she would have complied. But
Yeah, I,
whatever.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like she kind of wanted it to be him, but didn't want it to be him at the same time.
I think she wanted to be him, but wanted him to acknowledge that he's the guy. But since he wasn't acknowledging it. She couldn't accept that it was him.
That's probably it.
But Federica, they have to run. Mob beasts are attacking, and they decide to attack it, and Subaru try to use modern times, which I feel like when you say modern, you refer to the present versus like the past. So I feel like Subaru thinks he's in the past, but like there's no indication, there's nothing indicating that he's in the past, future, or present.
Yeah, there's no time because they still have. I feel like they have sophisticated stuff sometimes, but not as sophisticated.
And
Like I don't know.
speaking of modern stuff, do we remember what happened to his phone?
It's probably still in his pocket on full charge.
Now that I'm thinking about it, where's the phone? Um, the mob beast we saw from the first time he went in mansion they attacked showed up. So he tried to set it on fire with dust, but nothing happened with the dust. So Otto and Petra are throwing expensive oil in the thing and set it on fire that way, and thing goes tumbling out the mansion, and somehow the whole mansion caught on fire. In like 2 seconds, the whole mansion was on fire, and they had to escape. Um, Federica ended up saving them, but then he drops Otto because Petra's like Federica, and then Subaru made the comment. It's like, hey man, children, elderly ladies, men, and then Otto. That's the priority list. But then they go. Subaru's like he's got to go back in to find Betty, and then we go back to Amelia, and Amelia takes the second trial. In the second trial, instead of like an unthinkable present. It was actually, I guess that was like an unthinkable present for her, like a happy present, and like she knew from the beginning, it's like, oh, this isn't my life, and I can't have this forever. So like eventually, she just kind of enjoyed it for as long as she could, and then she finally went and she passed the second trial, and Echidna was crying for some reason, and she said, "Thank you for showing me this." And Echidna's like, "I hate you," and disappeared. And like Amelia passes the second trial, jumps into the water, which gave me a little thought. I'm like, does Echidna hate Amelia so much because Echidna is Amelia's mother? Because Amelia
I,
doesn't know her mother.
I think it might have been more so like maybe that scene like she wanted her to be angry, but instead she was like grateful for seeing stuff.
I just
And
don't like. Echidna hates Amelia, but I don't know why.
I don't know why either.
So Amelia passes. She walks outside, and the entire village is the village that the portion of the village just at the sanctuary is waiting outside for Amelia, and she tried to set them free, but they were like, "Nah, we're gonna wait here for you as promised." It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Next episode, love me down to the blood and guts.
Hmm.
We find out Elsa has extremely efficient rejuvenative abilities, and Subaru is going back to get Betty, and we're going. Then we go back to Amelia, and I'm just like, can I finish one scene before we go back and forth? But Amelia made it to the tea party after seeing like the unthinkable future, and she was like seeing and hearing people. But she made it to the tea party, and I think the Witch of Wrath,
Yeah.
or was it Love? No, it was
It's
Wrath.
wrath.
It
Yeah.
was Wrath. The Witch of Wrath greeted her with a finger to the back of her head. It's like, don't turn around. And says Echidna doesn't want to see her. I'm like, why? Why? Why does Echidna have beef with Amelia? Is that her mom? I don't understand. And then like Amelia
What if it's her
and
sister?
maybe. I mean, they have
Her
they
sister that escaped
resemble each
out or
other a little.
something. I don't know. Could be a
Okay,
sister.
so here's what I know so far. Amelia has her dad's eyes, so her dad's probably the elf. Well, not probably. Her dad's the elf, because that's Fortuna's brother. The mother has to be the witch, daughter of the witch. I'm thinking the witch is Echidna.
I don't know, but for some reason, Puck was her. I don't know. Is Puck a? He's a spirit. He
I don't know
definitely a
what the
he,
fuck
right?
Puck is, man. Puck's a spirit that's bouncing between crystals, man.
I don't know because he used to refer to himself.
As her
Used
dad.
to, yeah. So I don't know. So
Puck's
I
a
mean, it's
crystal
still
hopper right now.
possible. He could be the elf in cat form, I guess.
He
I don't
could
know,
be.
but so yeah, that logic still works out.
Yeah, alright, so Amelia and the Witch of Wrath have a little conversation, and like she makes the Witch of Wrath cry, and then she's like, "Hey, if you go through that door, you're gonna pass the test." And Amelia's like, "Can you tell Echidna something for me?" And it's like, "What is it?" "I'd like to have a tea party with all the witches." And I'm just like, "Why? Why do you want to meet all the witches?"
I say for a moment, I did think that Witch of Wrath was Amelia's mother for some reason. I was like, maybe why is she crying? She
It's
better
like,
know
which witch
this
is
good
it,
woman.
man? Which one
Yeah,
is your mom? But that was another thing, and then like, why? So I was wondering why Amelia wanted to be a part of the tea party, and Amelia goes to Ryuzu, and I thought Ryuzu was generating the barrier, but it looked like Echidna was generating barrier with the tree. So the barrier was down. So I was like, what the hell is Ryuzu and the crystal doing? But now, I was also wondering if we had three trials that would like there were three trials that would mentally test you because Amelia broke that barrier like super easy. She just pounded on it once and it shattered. And she
Yeah.
goes outside and lo and behold, there's snow. Roswell summoned the snow. And then we go back to the fight with Garth and Elsa, and we find out that Elsa is a vampire, and they're fighting and they're biting each other, and he just picks up the giant maw beast that he defeated, the hippo one, and wants the chaos and just throws it at her, and she kind of just accepts it.
Well, the way he defeated that hippo one, I was like,
He just
dang,
transformed and broke its neck.
twisted the neck off.
Mm
Ouch.
hmm. um, and then we go back to the sanctuary, and Puck also remembers his past apparently, and we find out that Roswell put a spell on Amelia that keeps her discouraged, which kind of always. You know what? She did go from like a super optimistic person that wanted to help everyone to like a very discouraged person. I didn't really notice it until like I just thought about it right now. Hmm.
Yeah, because she was more optimistic.
Mm-hmm. In the beginning.
Yeah.
And then like at this point we're confirming that Puck knows about Betty and Roswell, and then both her eyes came out. Oh, and then Rom, I need to be a little more descriptive in these notes. I really do. I'm like, what the fuck am I
Yeah.
talking about here?
Yeah.
Rom and Puck confronting Roswell, and like Rom's both of her eyes came out. She confessed her love for him, and like, the man was in complete denial, and she's like, "That was before. I did want revenge before, but my love is more, and I should prioritize my love that I currently feel over the feelings of people who are dead already." And
Yeah.
then Puck teased a transformation, the beast form, but he really just got bigger just to distract Roswell. And Rom grabbed the book from Roswell and burned it. And then Roswell, out of a rage, attacked her. And Puck explained, like, hey, you attacked her in rage. And she did what she had to do.
Yeah.
So, next episode, Choose Me. Um, Puck protected the villagers when Amelia came out and saw them all under a crystal. And we found that Roswell had already started the spell before they even started fighting.
Hmm.
And in the midst of holding Rom in her hands, Roswell's eyes was twitching because he didn't really know what to do anymore. He was calling out for his master and wanted guidance. So like, it seemed like now he was like Betty. He didn't know what to do because he didn't have the book. He didn't know what to do with himself.
Yeah.
Shima Ryuzu, I think she sacrificed herself, but I'm not sure why.
Who
Did you pick up on it?
knows? I think she needed to do it still for the sanctuary or something.
It was
I
something to
don't
do with
know.
the sanctuary, yeah.
Yeah. Bring them back or something rather.
So we go back to Subaru and Betty looks so sad, and we find out that it's an incomplete tome of wisdom, and I don't think Betty ever had the one that tells the future. I mean, maybe she did. I don't know. And we finally confirmed that this isn't the same Roswell from the past. They are different Roswells, but like somehow he's still attached to Echidna, like the first
Kind of
one.
like I feel like it's like the reuse you, like a more perfect reuse you.
Maybe. I was thinking it was kind of like the Seven Deadly Sins thing, where like every time he dies, he just comes back with his memories intact.
Yeah. I mean, she does well, she doesn't die, she just makes more creations of her after they run out, I suppose.
But I mean on like Roswell's end side.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So like
They they all learn the memories.
Betty was hurt and he ran back into the mansion and like Betty was confused because he asked her for help. And I'm talking about Subaru here. Like Betty needs the help, but Subaru is asking her for help, and he's like, I can't. Realistically, I can't help you because you don't need help. You can fix this by yourself. You're just being stubborn. And
Yeah.
like Betty is like, even if you tell me you'll be here now, you'll disappear one day. And he was like, well, I'm just gonna have to make this memory last forever. And just like, but Subaru, if you make her remember you forever, when you die, she'll miss you forever. I'm not sure you're understanding what you're saying, but eventually she caved in. And this was like after Subaru got kicked out the mansion and went into Burning Mansion and like checked every door and like burned his hand on the knob and went back for her. And um we go out to Petra and Otto wondering if Super made it out the mansion, and then you see a purple light in the sky and Petra just slaps him like, hey, it's him. I was like, yo, they be disrespecting my man Otto too much. Otto the MVP.
He is. He the goat.
And we go back to where Amelia is, and she's trying to protect the villagers from the Great Rabbit. And you kind of see that she changed out her crystal on her shirt, the green broken one for the blue one that Puck's currently in.
Yeah.
And she's like, Subaru. She said something about Subaru. This time I'll take care of this. And then Subaru comes in. It's like, what are you talking about, silly? You've done
Yeah.
enough. Now let me take over. And he's holding Betty's hand. Betty's like, don't blame me for what happens. Like, why? What are you about to do? What are you about to do? What could possibly be a consequence to you attacking them?
Yeah. All them little rabbits came back. So yeah, I wasn't mad at that. It's a good 3 episodes there.
Yeah, that I can't wait to next week.
Yeah, maybe Rom wakes up
Rem.
fully. Rem, yeah, Rom. Well, Rom's dead too. So
Oh,
I did think it
she
was
twitched a little.
yeah. I liked how she got her horn back. I don't know if it was briefly, but she got her horn back. I was like, okay.
Did you see
So
her horn back?
yeah, when she did her final attack and came through and snatched the book from Roswald, it was there.
I didn't even notice that. I might have to like rewind a little.
Yeah, you go back and look at it because it was a little. I was like, what's that little pink thing on her forehead? I was like, oh, it's her horn. So she got it. I was like, yeah, she's strong.
She's
She's
strong.
strong again. So yeah,
Oh,
that's good. Yeah, good little 3.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Anything you want to go out on, sir?
No, I ain't got nothing to go out on. Uh, yeah, yep, nothing for me, sire.
Alrighty, well, guys, thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you next week. Peace.
Peace.